today's video, we're gonna do a driving tour of Manchester. So starting off, just wanna give you a little bit of stats. It's currently at the beginning of February, and it is just after 2:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. So as you can see, during this time of the day, traffic is really not heavy at all. After about 4 p.m. during rush hour, 5 to 6, that's when traffic can pick up a little bit, but ever since COVID hit, the traffic has been very, very moderate throughout the city. I just made a turn onto East Industrial. This is East Industrial Ave right now. It is more of a business district over here in the southeast portion of Manchester. This is one of the nicer areas in terms of residential homes. You're fairly close to Auburn over here. We'll also be going by the airport today, and then I'll take you along South Willow and Elm Street, two other heavy populated retail districts. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of businesses on this road. The speed limit is actually 30 miles an hour, which is kind of slow based on how wide this road and how long it actually is. Most cars, they tend to go a little bit over the speed limit here. As you can see, we have just got about 3 snowstorms in the past month or so. So we have quite a bit of snow right now. You know, Manchester being an area that gets a lot of snow, they're really good about clearing the streets off in a relatively fast amount of time. So typically, you know, within maybe the first 10 to 12 hours of the snowstorm, the roads can be a little bit bad, but after that, they clean them up really quickly, so you don't really have to worry about the roads being horrible. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of snow on the sides of the road. So we're coming up to this light here. If I were to take a left-hand turn, that would be Bridge Street Extension, which connects me over to Bridge Street, which is a main route to get to downtown. You know, and as you can see, a lot of the homes around here are much older, and you'll have quite a bit of house here for your money. But you know, it's not a bad spot. If you're okay with owning an older home, this is a good area to be in. We're starting to get to the outskirts of Manchester here, over on the east portion, and we're getting really, really close to Auburn at this point. This is another road that's 30 miles an hour. Seems a little bit slow, but there is a lot of houses on this road, along with some, you know, businesses like car dealerships, some car wash up ahead. You'll even see a bowling alley here on the right. So we've got the bowling alley. Candlepin was right there on the right that we just passed. Mojo's Diner. It's a pretty popular breakfast restaurant. Now we're approaching the Massabesic traffic circle. And I'm going to go ahead and take the first exit here on the right. That will bring me to Massabesic Lake. So we're going to go ahead and take this. And there's a baseball field on my right here. And if I take a left, this is the entrance to Massabesic Lake. They're open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And yeah, this is actually the water supply for Manchester. So there's no swimming in the lakes. They do offer boating. There is different areas of the lake where you can put your boat into the water, but you know, there is no swimming in this lake. You know, it is popular for ice skating in the winter, as you can see. And as I make a turn up here, you're going to see that right now, with all the snow we've got, the lake is completely covered. And I mean, there's a lot of ice out there right now. You could skate on this. You'll definitely see people ice fishing. All right, so I'm just leaving the Massabesic Lake parking lot now. You guys can't see it, but there's actually a few snowmobiles across the street here. There is tracks that go all throughout the lake here, which are perfect for, you know, hiking, walking, and snowmobiles as well. So coming up the traffic circle once again, if I were to take a right here, that would bring me out to Auburn, various parts of Auburn. Now I'm going to take this right-hand turn, which if I continue to go straight down here, I'd end up in Hooksett. But what I'm going to do is to hop on the highway so you can actually kind of see what the freeway systems are like out here. If I took a right here, I would be getting onto 101, which would bring me, to various areas like Exeter or Portsmouth. And, that's not too far. Portsmouth is about a 45-minute drive. It's a beautiful area there along the coast. So I'm coming up this light. I'm going to take a left-hand turn. We'll hop on the highway here to 101 West. And this is going to bring me over towards South Willow. Now we're going to head over to the airport. So I'm taking a left here. We're getting on to 101 West. As I said earlier, it's about 3 p.m. right now on a Friday. So this will kind of give you an idea of what traffic's like. Now, we're not on, Route 93, which is typically the more trafficked area. But as you can tell, traffic is not too bad right now. This is a 2-lane highway for a little while until we connect to 93, which we will be hopping on to 93 South up here. We'll be bearing left. If we were to bear right, we would head on to 93 North, which would bring me up to the Lakes region, further up north towards the White Mountains. But we're going to go ahead, and as you can actually see, signs for the airport, which is exactly where we're going. So you have 2 lanes that split to the right, 93 North. We have 2 lanes here that split to the left. This is 93 South. The zone we're in right now, the speed limit's 55. It varies depending on the highways, but typically 101 is about 55 or 65. And then when you're on 93, especially heading up north, it's 65. And in some areas, the further north you get, the speed limit does go up to 70. So right now we are about to merge onto 93 South. And as you'll see, once we get a little ways up, if I were to continue straight, this would bring me south to Boston. So areas like Londonderry, Salem, those would all be in that direction. All right, and as you can see, we're getting up to the split here. There's 3 lanes that go left here. That brings you on to 93 South towards Boston. And now I'm going to bear to the right. There's 2 lanes. And this will open up to 3 lanes once we get on to the main portion of the highway. And as you can see, once again, traffic is pretty light. I mean, now you just saw the exit for exit 1, which is South Willow. I'm actually going to get over 1 lane here because even though I'm not taking South Willow just yet, we are going to be getting off on Brown Ave, which is my exit for the airport. During rush hour, this is an exit you will see that gets pretty busy. You can see traffic that backs up pretty much all the way to the exit right there on the highway. But that is one of the main strips. You have an option of going right or going left off of the exit there. And yeah, that's just another area in Manchester. A lot of retailers, car dealerships. The Mall of New Hampshire is located there as well. And as you'll see to my right and left, if you're able to see that far over, we're going to be passing some car dealerships. You have Mercedes-Benz here. The Supercenter Walmart is actually right there to the right. We're passing it now. A few years ago, it was previously located a little further away from the highway. They built the Supercenter a couple years ago, and now it is right on the highway. You'll see we have Prestige Auto Body. That's another auto body shop. There's a couple businesses here. You'll have some truck shops all along the highway, Volvo. Now we're taking exit 2. This is Brown Ave. If I had continued going straight there, it would have brought me out to Bedford, Goffstown, New Boston. I could access all those areas if I was continuing to go straight. Now, I'm going to take a left here. If I were to go right, it would bring me to downtown Manchester, but we're not going to head there just yet. So, just took a left here. we are on Brown Ave now. This is a 2-lane road that brings me all the way to the airport, and if I were to continue straight on it, I could also go into Litchfield, which is a very nice area on the outskirts of Manchester. Small town area, very nice. Now, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but on the right, we just passed Holiday Inn, which also houses the airport diner, which is a really popular diner here. There's a couple other restaurants over to the right. You have some fast food places, a motel, furniture store, some gas stations. Still on Brown Ave at this point. We've just passed a couple businesses on the right there. On the left was a new veterinarian hospital they just built. And over here, you'll see some neighborhoods. There's developments to the right. There's some construction going on the right here as well. Not too sure what's going in there. You'll see some houses here on the left-hand side. These are definitely going to be a lot older. A lot of these are original homes that have been here a really, really long time. And, you know, you won't really see new developments going in around the airport in this area. Now we're getting up. If I were to bear right, this would continue me on to Brown Ave, which is known as 3A South. And that would bring me out to Litchfield. But instead, I'm going to go straight here, which is going to bring me right into the airport entrance. So this is Manchester Boston Regional Airport. It's a smaller airport here in Manchester. It offers domestic flights. You know, there's not a ton of flights out of this airport, but they offer a pretty good variety. If you are flying internationally or any longer haul flights, your best bet might be going down to Boston, where you have Boston Logan International Airport. It's about a 50-minute drive from Manchester, so it's not too far. And they also offer a lot of different options to get down there. There's a bus system that can take you from multiple points in New Hampshire down to Boston. The closest one would be the Londonderry bus stop. And that one is about 20 minutes. You could get on the bus there, and it takes you right down. Now, we're passing the Executive Health Club on the right-hand side here. This is a fitness center that's been here for a long time. They have racquetball courts, basketball courts, the gym. It's just an all-around really, really nice health center. So now we're approaching the roundabout here at the airport. I'm going to continue, and we're actually just going to go right around, and we're going to go right by the front of the airport here. So I'm going to show you what it looks like at the front of the airport if you were, flying out and you were going to your terminal. So I'm going to switch lanes here. Now, as you can see above us, we've just entered the airport. This is not a really big airport, so it's very, very easy to navigate if you're new to the area. You'll see all of the terminals as we approach here. They have Southwest, American, United. I'm not positive enough to check if they have Delta, but they service most of the airlines out of here. They offer parking here. I'm not positive on the rate, but they do offer it. Now, as you can see, really, really dead right now. There's basically nobody here. So we have United right here. The Delta looks like it's been stripped, so I don't know if Delta's still here, but there's American and Southwest. So I'm not sure about Delta. I'd have to double check on that. And there you go. We've just basically passed. Those were all of your entrances there. And we're now headed out towards the exit. So as I said, very, very small airport, easy to navigate. Ideally, if you're flying out, your best bet is to be dropped off by someone you know or an Uber. Now we're heading out. So basically straight ahead here, we just did a big loop around the parking area. The parking garage to my left here. And I'm going to bear right. If I were to go left here, it would just bring me right around again. But I'm going to continue right. And now I'm basically passing. These cars that are turning, all these cars going by on my left, that was where we had just entered from. Now, what I'm going to do here is bear right. Now, if I were to continue to the roundabout and go straight through, that is another way to get back over to Brown Ave and into Litchfield. But instead, I'm going to continue this way, and we're going to take Perimeter Road. So Perimeter Road goes on the outskirts of the airport, basically surrounds the airport, and that's going to connect over to South Willow, which is where we're going to head over to next. Now we're approaching the traffic light. If I were to go left, that would bring me over to Brown Ave once again. Continue straight would be Brown Ave, but I'm going to be bearing right here, and we're going to be heading on to Perimeter Road right now. As I said, this just borders the airport. You're not really going to see any residential homes in this area. It's mostly going to be businesses as well as some hotels in this area. And as you can see on our right hand side, the barbed wire fence, that is the airport. As you see, we're approaching some hotels. We have a hotel on the left here, Spring Hill Suites, and we have a Homewood Suites on the right there by Hilton. Now we're going to get back into some more businesses. A lot of manufacturing companies out here. Speed limit over here is 30 miles an hour. This road is very windy. It's a nice road, especially for those of you that own motorcycles. As a whole, Manchester's a pretty good area if you do own a motorcycle in the summertime, especially if you work your way out. Oh, we actually have I can hear it. It sounds either like a plane. It sounds like a plane must be taking off. I didn't really see one come overhead there. But as I was saying about the motorcycles, Auburn offers a variety of really, really nice back roads that are typically not too busy. It's really fun to cruise on during a warm summer day. And as you can see, we're approaching the end of Perimeter Road now, and it kind of opens up right here on my right-hand side. You do have a pretty good view of the airport at this point. They do have a couple runways that they will fly off of. So it's hit or miss. You kind of have to figure it out what the schedule is. That way you know where's a good spot to look out and maybe watching planes take off and land. I think it's important to mention that as a whole, Manchester is pretty good about keeping up with the roads, but there is certain areas that are pretty run down and a lot of potholes and cracks in the road, and it can be tough on the vehicles and especially on motorcycles and things of that nature. But you know, with the snow we get, it can be hard to keep up with it. So here we go. We're gonna make our way on to South Willow now. And as you can see from the sign, if I were to go right, it could also bring me out to Londonderry. So now we are on South Willow. And as you can see, this is where we're going to see a lot of retailers. So we have a Lazy Boys to my left, Super Shoes to my right, gas station to my right. We have restaurants like La Coretta to my left, Olive Garden to my right. Planet Fitness is tucked away over to the right as well, in addition to Mazda. The post office was right down there to my left-hand side. This is the entrance to the Mall of New Hampshire to my right. Vitamin Shop to the left. Barnes & Nobles. We have Masa, which is a steakhouse over here. You have 99. There's a CarMax over to the left, which is actually the former location of the Walmart before they moved it and created the Super Center. You have TGIF Fridays to your right as well. Auto Fair. This is where you're going to see most of the retailers in businesses, restaurants. One thing you'll notice is most of the restaurants in the area are very chain oriented. So you're not going to have a lot of mom and pop restaurants. They're going to be the style that you'll find in most cities throughout the country. Now you'll be seeing a highway entrance to my right here. That would bring me over to Salem. You have the option of South 293. There's also 101 East. If I was heading back towards Salem, Boston, I would take a right there, but I could also take a right, and that would bring me back out towards 93 North. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but the current temperature, according to my car's thermostat, is 22 degrees right now. So it's pretty chilly. It got into the single figures over the night, and it's been pretty cold lately. If you were to take a left here, you actually have a BJ's right down the road, in addition to a Hannaford's, and that actually connects you over to the Supercenter Walmart. Another grocery store option we have is Aldi's. There's also an Aldi's right here in this left-hand side plaza. There's a Verizon, Modell's. Another restaurant is a British beer company. In this next plaza over here to the left, we have Petco, Party City, Guitar Center, Designer Shoe Warehouse. Now, if I were to take a right-hand turn on this street, which is Weston Road, that would bring me to Memorial High School, which is one of the three main high schools, public high schools in Manchester. We have another plaza over my left with multiple businesses. Plaza to my right, short plaza strip, has a Chipotle's in there, along with some phone shops. You have tire shops to the left, Pet Boys, pawn shop, which is kind of rare. You don't see a lot of those around here. CVS to my right. We also have another plaza to my left. You have Home Depot, PetSmart, Burlington, and also Michael's, which is newer location for them. CJ's on my right. You'll see some more restaurants. A couple of fast food restaurants here, Wendy's, Burger King. There's actually a Popeyes, which is relatively new. And then over here to my left, you're probably not gonna be able to see, but it's called The Shops, which is a new retail development that's recently been put in there. There's a lot of space in there for lease. There's Firehouse subs. There's also a bunch of new, like hair salons and things that are going in there. It's very, very new and it's expanding like crazy. But we also just passed a U-Haul, laundromat. We see some more gas stations up here. I know we mentioned on Planet Fitness, way back at the beginning of South Willow, the Zoo Health Club, which is their Manchester location. It's actually you might be able to see it on the left side of the screen here. It's in the plaza along with multiple other businesses. There's also A Market, which is a small natural grocery store that was down on the left-hand side as well. Really, really awesome place. I love shopping there as well. It's like a small Whole Foods. Prices are a little bit high, but it's a good place for specialty items. A lot of rental car places here. Now, as you can see, we're coming up to a sign that says Queen City Ave, downtown. Now, I'm going to keep left here, which is actually going to put me onto Queen City Ave. If I were to head straight there, that would bring me onto Willow Street. And it's also another way you could go if you wanted to head to downtown Manchester. But this is a more direct route. And I will bring up the fact that you'll probably be seeing a little bit heavier traffic at this point. It's getting a little bit later. It's about 3:30 now. So, you can see some traffic on my left here. And it's not too bad. This road I'm on right now can get pretty backed up. And as you can see, we're approaching this light. During rush hour, this light can get kind of bad, being only 2 lanes. And if I want to head straight, that would bring me over to 2nd Street, which 2nd Street would put me over onto the west side of Manchester. But in addition, it would also give me the option to head out into Bedford as well. So if I wanted to head to Bedford, I could head over to the Whole Foods there in Bedford. Or I also have the option to head over into Goffstown if I wanted to continue straight as well. All right, so I'm approaching this light now. We're taking a right onto Elm Street. So this is the other very populated area. This is more the downtown, aside from South Willow Street. South Willow is more restaurants and car dealerships, the mall, a lot of retail shops. But, Elm Street is kind of the same, but a little bit different atmosphere. So we have the liquor and wine outlet to my left. Car dealerships to my left as well, tattoo places on my right. This is the downtown area. You're going to see a lot more businesses down here in the sense where these are going to be areas that a lot of residents are employed. Over to my left, you can't see it, but this is actually the location of the Fisher Cats Stadium. It's set a little ways back over towards the river. The Merrimack River runs along Manchester over to my left-hand side there. Okay, so now we're gonna keep making our way down Elm Street. I've been hitting a little bit of traffic here. On my left-hand side, we have the Market Basket. This is the Manchester location. There's also a Hooksett one not too far away. It's about 15-20 minutes away. This is probably the nicer of the two if you were picking one of them. Also on the right-hand side, as you can see, that is the SNHU Arena, previously known as the Verizon Wireless Arena. So I'm going to continue going straight here. If I were to take a left, I would have the option of going onto Canal Street, which runs along the bottom of Elm Street, just past Murphy's Diner. It's a pretty popular night spot here in Manchester. Passing the SNHU Arena right here on my right. Now we're about to go past a set of lights. This is Granite Street, which actually runs onto the west side of Manchester, and if you were to go right there, that could bring you all the way back up towards Mammoth Road, which is back over where we started the tour. Now on my left-hand side, we have a really, really popular hotel. It's now known as the Doubletree, formerly known as the Radisson. Now on the left-hand side, you'll see some restaurants. We have the Portland Pie Company, which actually went out of business. It used to be there. A lot of businesses on the left. On the right-hand side, we have some banks. You know, you'll have Exo Bistro, which is a pretty good restaurant there. 110 Grill. City Hall is actually right here on my left-hand side as we pass Hanover Street, which connects all the way up to Mammoth Road. We have Ben & Jerry's on the left. A lot of restaurants in this area. Same on the right-hand side here. If I were to take a left down Mechanic Street, that would actually be the YMCA there. Passing Margarita's restaurant on the right. Okay, so now I'm taking a left-hand turn onto West Bridge Street. This is gonna bring me over to the west side of Manchester. So now I'm getting off of Elm Street. I'm gonna be crossing the Merrimack River here in just a second. We are right above Canal Street at the moment. You'll have the Mill West, which is a bunch of apartments here. They're loft style, very pricey. A lot of these apartments will start at about $1,750, and they can go as high as $3,000 a month, depending on what you're looking for. But they also offer those on the other side of the river. Now I changed my mind. I'm actually going to take a left here on McGregor Street. I was going to go straight, but I wanted you to take a look at CMC Hospital, which is one of the major hospitals here in Manchester. We also have the Elliott, which I plan on going by to end the trip afterwards. But right now we are about to pass CMC on the right-hand side, the New England Heart Institute. As you can see, they have the tunnel there up above. And yeah, this is a very, very popular hospital. It's one of the biggest here in Manchester. Now I'm going to continue going straight so that you can actually get a look at West High School, which is actually straight up here on the right-hand side. And I'll point it out as we go by. So now we are passing West High School on the right-hand side there. Their turf field is on the left with the track around it. It's bordering right there by the highway. Now, West High School was the previous location for Bedford residents until they built their own high school. So now this is just for Manchester residents. I'm going to continue going straight here. And then I am going to take a right-hand turn coming up so that we can go through the kind of the inner city streets here on the west side, so you can get a look at what the properties look like, what the homes are like on this part of Manchester. Now, if I would have taken a left back at that set of lights, that would have brought me back towards Elm Street. So up here, I'm actually going to take a right-hand turn. Now, this is Varney Street. And if I were to follow this street all the way to the end, I would end up in Pinardville, which is actually a pretty nice area that is on the outskirts of Goffstown. Now, I'm not going to go all the way into Goffstown because this is a Manchester tour. So I'm going to try to stay within the city because we do have a couple more spots to go through. Now, as you can see, we are on the west side, but we're getting to a nicer portion of the west side. The homes over here, they are older, but we are in a better location. So Route 114 is actually in this direction as well. don't see too many new developments going in this area. As you work your way towards Pinardville and into Goffstown, you can find newer builds in that region, as well as all the way into New Boston or some of the surrounding areas. My plan is to actually continue going straight here, and then we will work our way back into another portion of the west side and continue towards Elm Street once again, so I can show you more of the north end of Manchester, which is definitely a higher price point, but it's a nice area if you want to be close to the city. So up here is actually where I'm going to bear off. If I were to continue going straight, we would end up going over towards Pinardville. But instead, I'm going to be taking a right-hand turn up here, and we're going to head back towards the west side of Manchester. So once again, now we are heading back over towards the west side. You have some condo developments over here to the left. You know, you will find some apartments in this area, but for the most part, it's going to be more residential single-family homes. Some multi-families are definitely possible as we get further into the west side. You can't see it, but we actually just passed the West Side Arena, which was below us there. It's a hockey arena here over on the west side of Manchester. So as you see up here, this is Rimmon Heights. Now, I wouldn't classify this as a very nice part of Manchester. We are on the west side. Now, I'm not putting the west side of Manchester down or anything, but as a whole, it has a bad reputation for being a little less safe. The schools are not very good over here. And if you were to look at crime statistics, it would be worse than further over onto the east side of Manchester. Now, I'm just going to continue going down this entire strip. I'm not going to enter through any of these neighborhoods. There are lots of neighborhoods on my right and my left-hand side here, but you can kind of get a feel for the area just by the businesses. You won't really see, you know, I mean, there is some businesses around here like gas stations, you know, things of that nature, some restaurants, but more just like smaller pizza places. As you can see, we're starting to see some of the multifamilies over here. A lot of older homes. I wouldn't say run down, but definitely not as nice as some of the other ports of Manchester. Okay, so now we're coming up here. You can see the sign once again for Rimmon Heights. If you were to be entering from this direction, we're actually going to be exiting over here. We're getting onto Coolidge Ave now. And we basically did a big loop, because if we were to go straight here, you can't see it just yet, but CMC Hospital is actually straight ahead. Okay, so I'm taking a left here on Amory Street. You can see we have a bank straight ahead. If I were to go right here, that would bring me back over to the CMC, which is right here on McGregor Street. All right, so now we're getting back over to Elm Street here. You have some apartment complexes on the left. These are really nice ones. In terms of price point, you're probably looking about $1,400 plus per month. All right, so we're taking a left-hand turn now onto Elm Street. You'll see we have the farm on the right. It's a nice restaurant. And on the left, we have a portion of Southern New Hampshire University. The actual campus, we won't be going by in today's video, but we are heading in the right direction. The campus is actually fairly large here on the north end of Manchester, and it works its way over towards Hooksett as well. Now, you're going to see a lot of business here on the right and left. If I were to take a left-hand turn right down that road, which is Dow Street, that is actually the location of Fit Lab. It's another gym in the area. It also is the former location of Gold's Gym. Now I'm just going to continue going straight here. At the next set of lights, you'll start seeing some businesses on the right and left. And on the left-hand side here, as you can probably see as we get past this building on the left, We have the Brady Sullivan Tower. They're the location of multiple different businesses within the building. Now, if I would have taken a left at that intersection, that would have brought me over to Goffstown. So Goffstown Road was back over there to my left. Now, I'm going to get my right lane. If I continue going straight now, we would be heading out towards the north end of Manchester, which goes pretty far out. I'm taking a right here on Webster Street. Now, we are technically in the north end of Manchester. Anything past a set of lights here, if I were to go straight, would really be considered the north end. So I'm going to continue going straight here. If I were to go left at this intersection on Union Street, Union runs to the right there, back in towards downtown Manchester. Or if I were to take a left here, that would bring me over to the north end, which has a lot of really expensive houses and neighborhoods with a lot of really high-end developments over there. If I were to continue going straight here, I could continue along on Webster Street. Instead, I'm actually going to take a left. We're now in Hooksett Road. Now, if I were to continue on this road for a significant amount of time, we would work our way well out into Hooksett. But I'm not going to be going that far. I just wanted to show you some of the areas out here. Now, we have the Puritan Restaurant, which is coming up on the right-hand side after the St. Mary's Bank, which is a really, really well-known restaurant. It's been here for a long time. Over on my left-hand side, you can't really see it just yet, but that is actually Livingston Park, which has, soccer fields, a public swimming pool, a little pond I wouldn't recommend swimming in, and then it also has a playground as well. We got VIPs, we got Mr. Mac. There's also Mr. Mac on Elm Street. Another plaza on the right-hand side here with multiple different businesses. It's called North End Shops at Livingston Park. Some more car dealerships on the right here. Couple fast food places up here, pizza place. Now, if I had continued going straight there, it would have brought me out into Hooksett. We also have, there's a movie theater out there. We have the IMAX theater. And there's quite a few businesses in very nice neighborhoods in that direction. And you're actually going to get kind of a little look here at some of the neighborhoods over here on the north end of Manchester as you work your way into Hooksett. Now, this is a good spot to be if you want to be relatively close to Manchester, the downtown area. You're in a decent area and it's away from the city. So we're working our way through some of the neighborhoods here over on the north end. Now, as you work your way through some of the other neighborhoods, more towards my right here, you have a lot of developments that are a lot larger than this. The homes are much, much bigger, and the prices are a lot higher. Now, this is more of a moderate area, but still a nice area. If you're looking for an area in Manchester to live, and you want it to be relatively close to downtown, this is one of the spots that I would recommend. The north end, in addition to any of the outskirt areas like Litchfield. Auburn is a beautiful area. Okay, so now we're approaching Webster Street. It's actually the road we were on just a few minutes ago that we had turned off of. I'm actually going to show you guys McIntyre Ski Area, which is it's a small ski area here in Manchester. This is McIntyre Ski Area, so we're entering right now. I have a feeling it's going to be really, really busy, especially on a Friday. This is a local, it's basically a hill. Good spot to go if you just want to find somewhere to hit the slopes on a, a weekend and you don't feel like traveling far north to some of the larger mountains. All right, so here is the lodge. I'm just trying to pull up as close as I can so you can get a little look at the mountain here. It is on the right hand side there. Like I said, it's a hill. There's one main lift that goes up there. You have the rental shop on the right there, the lodge right behind us. All right, so we are leaving the parking lot here at McIntyre. As you can see, really busy, really popular spot. Now we're gonna work our way back towards Bridge Street because I also want to show you Dairyfield Country Club, which is the golf course here, actually located right in the center of Manchester. It's a great 18-hole course. And they actually have pretty reasonable prices. You can play... Oh, what's this? We got some turkeys crossing the road. That's pretty cool. I got to see this on film. Now, as you can see, even though it's pretty populated around here, you still see quite a bit of wildlife. All right, as you can see, a lot of nice neighborhoods over here. We've got some townhomes straight ahead. There's different condo developments around here. Now, if I were to go left, this is Mammoth Road. That would bring me out to Hooksett. Now, I'm gonna take a right-hand turn here, and this is gonna bring me right back into Manchester, back towards downtown. We've got a lot of residential homes around here, but there's also a variety of options in terms of apartments. There are some condo associations around here. It gives you a variety of options. This is a great location, especially for highway access. If you were to take a right on Bridge Street, which is this next set of lights, that would bring you back down to downtown Manchester. And if we were to take a left here, that brings us over to Wellington Road, which is a really nice area. I recommend that to a lot of people looking to relocate here. There's residential homes up there, there's apartments over in that direction, and it also brings you back out towards Auburn. So now we're going to be passing Dairyfield Country Club here on the left-hand side and right-hand side after the fire station. You're not going to see too much right now with it all being covered. But as you can see the sign, we actually have the 9th green to the right, the tee box to the 10th, and the tee box to the first hole is on the left, putting green on the right, and the clubhouse is right as on our left-hand side there. Also have the 6th hole on the left, the green. We've got the 7th tee box on the right there. To Terrytown Road. Now this street runs parallel to Mammoth, which is the road we were just on. But for the sake of the video, we're gonna head down this direction so you can get a look at the other major hospital in Manchester. Actually, it's a good time right here on my left-hand side. You can't see it, but it actually East Little League, which is it's a baseball field, and they also have a little playground there. It's actually where I grew up playing baseball. They have about 3 fields there, starting with T-ball all the way up to majors and minors. Now up here on the right-hand side, you'll start seeing some signs for the Elliott Hospital, different divisions of it. You know, the emergency room is down there to the right-hand side. Got the doctor's park over here as well. It's just different specialty areas. And now we are pretty much running by the side of Elliott Hospital. We're not going to go into the parking lot for Elliott, but as you can see, the sign is right here on my right-hand side. That is the other major hospital in Manchester. We have Billy's Sports Bar right there to my right-hand side. So now we're taking a left onto Massabesic Street. If we were to take a right, that would pretty much bring us right back down to downtown Manchester. And now we're starting to enter back over to the southeast portion of Manchester, basically back where we started the trip. Okay, so now I'm working my way over to some of these neighborhoods off the Mammoth Road. We're going to be taking a left-hand turn on Porter Street. Just wanted to give you a little idea of what houses look like in neighborhoods around Memorial High School. So this is the high school over here on the east side of Manchester. And these would all be the neighborhoods that would be within the school district here. Definitely a nicer area. You will see a mix of homes, a lot of residential, some newer, some older, and you will see an occasional multifamily around here as well. Up ahead we have Silly Road, which is another main road in Manchester. Now this road, I typically don't travel on it a lot. It's very bumpy and it's in pretty rough shape, but I do want to go by Memorial High School, so we're going to be going down this way. So we have some newer homes here on the right within the last about 10 years. Some newer neighborhoods over on the left there. There's some developments in the back. Now we're past the Memorial here on the right-hand side. I'll pull into the parking lot so you can just see the front of the school. Then we'll exit and we'll get back onto the main road again. So here we go. Here is the front of Memorial High School. The gymnasium straight ahead. The turf football field with the track is actually down there on the right-hand side as well. The tennis courts we had already passed as we were approaching the high school. Now, if I were to take a right-hand turn here, that would bring me right back down to South Willow, which is the main strip we were on earlier. Instead, I'm actually going to go left here. Right now, we're on Weston Road, which is going to connect me all the way back up here to Hughes Road. And this is another nice area if you wanted a nice residential neighborhood to live in with a nice home and you know you're in a good school district here. Okay, so now I'm taking a right onto Hughes Road. If I were to continue straight here, it would connect right back over to South Willow, and also we would pass the Planet Fitness. Instead, I'm going to take a left here on Morrisville, and we are going to head back over to Mammoth Road. Trying to work my way out here onto Mammoth Road. All right. And I'm actually going to head this way. We're not going to go quite as far as we were headed earlier. If I were to continue going straight here, this would be another way for me to get out towards the airport. Instead, I'm actually going to take a left-hand turn here, and we're going to go another way of getting back over to East Industrial Ave. So right now we're on Bodwell Road. This is a really common area for the Memorial School District. Many of the students from that school reside in this area, especially as we get further up here. You'll see a lot of residential homes on the right and left. Up ahead, we also have Crystal Lake. Not an area I'd recommend swimming in, but it's a good spot if you want to do some ice skating in the winter time. As you see, a lot of the homes over here are definitely much newer than you saw in other parts of Manchester. Over here on the left, we just passed it. That's a fairly nice, quarter district, quarter neighborhood there. And as we approach this four-way stop sign here, instead of going straight onto Bodwell Road, I'm actually going to take a left here onto Cohas. If I were to go straight there, there's a bunch of neighborhoods down there, like Rose Cliff, and there's apartment complexes, a variety of residential single-family homes. But instead, we're going to work our way back towards East Industrial Ave. You get a little look at the houses on this road as well. Houses on the right-hand side here actually have quite a bit of land, and they're set back from the street a little ways. You'll have some neighborhoods over to the left. Now, I haven't really gone down any neighborhoods during this tour. We did pass some back on Bodwell Road that are some higher end neighborhoods where the price point is probably in that $400,000 to $600,000 range. So what I'll do here is I'm going to take you through one of the newer developments here on Coas Road, just so you can get a feel of what a newer home development looks like over here. So we're going to take a right now, right off Coas, and this is actually called Double Brook Road. So this is a new development here, and as you can see, you know, I know from driving by here in the past that a lot of these homes were recently on the market within the past, 6 to 12 months. And as you can see, they're expanding like crazy in here. Now, I know this is a cul-de-sac, so I'm going to go through this one so you can get a little look. We got the power lines here, which could be a negative to some people. That house is nice, really set back there. That's a nice one. Now, I'm not going to go down that way. It's the same development, a lot of the same homes, but the development goes pretty far back there. This gives you a little idea of what, a newer development looks like over on this part of Manchester. These homes are definitely going to be in that 500,000 plus range based on the size and the location. And I'm going to show you one more development here on the left. This is Brookfield. Now, this one is an interesting development. I've been in here a few times. This reminds me of a neighborhood you'd see in different areas of the country where it's just a big slate, slapped down here, and just homes put side by side, and it's very, very kind of tight feeling in here. You feel a little crowded. I guess there's too many homes in my opinion, but this is another nicer development here. Same thing, price point's going to be quite a bit higher, just based off of the location and the size of these homes. So instead of going straight there, I'm going to take a right-hand turn. We're just going to work our way. We're just doing a little loop here to get back out of the neighborhood. And then we will get back onto Coas Road, and we're going to work our way back up to East Industrial, where we'll finish the tour off. Newer homes here on the left as well. Newer in the sense that they were built within the last 10 to 15 years. And also on the right-hand side here, you'll see some nicer homes as well. This is a little bit of a busier road. Now, straight ahead, we have Comcast. This is a big, big business, and one of their major locations around here. And actually, now we meet Island Pond Road. Now, if I were to take a right and then a quick left, that would actually be East Industrial Ave, where we started the entire trip. And also in the right-hand direction there would have brought me out towards Massabesic Lake once again. And we are back where we started. So here we go. We're going actually above 93 north and south at the moment. And that will conclude the trip. And that is a driving tour of Manchester.